Hey, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be focusing on Batman First Knight. This is a brand new issue 1 for a series that DC is putting out, and in my opinion is a great modern reimagination of the Golden Age Cape Crusader and his home city of Gotham. This issue starts off with Commissioner Gordon and the police being hounded by news reporters about a string of murders that have occurred in Gotham lately. People shouting that the murder rate is out of control, asking if the newest victim was another councilman. The police make their way past them and onto the crime scene where Gordon literally uncovers a beheaded victim who is a councilman after all. When talking to one of the witnesses, Gordon learns that apparently a couple of brutish men just came in, beat this councilman Hodges to a pulp, took his head off and left. Nothing more, nothing less. Gordon admits that this isn't the first city official that this has happened to, as they seem to be the targets of these attacks. First thing story-wise I'm happy about that I want to mention is that thankfully this isn't an origin. At no point in this issue is the death of the Waynes relevant. There is no time wasted telling us what we already know, and at least in this issue, no time wasted worrying about the legacy of the Waynes or the family company or anything of that nature. This story is purely about Gotham and Bruce Wayne. When leaving the scene, reporters continue hounding him about political topics, asking if the people behind these murders will be put to death. We can't solve all our problems with the electric chair, Gordon tells them. Luckily for him, before any more vultures can prod him for quotes, a nearby Bruce Wayne offers him an escape through a free ride. Gordon accepts, saying, "I'm rather surprised to see you driving. Most men in your position would have a chauffeur. The family butler used to do the job, but he moved on when I went to college. I haven't seen him since," Bruce replies, so we can reasonably kiss any chance of seeing Alfred goodbye. Bruce Wayne is completely on his own as Batman, and honestly that's pretty exciting. Bruce drops him off at the precinct, and Gordon thanks him for the ride, before a fellow officer comes up from behind saying, "Disgusting. I'm struggling to buy my kids shoes, yet Wayne's car costs more than I make a year. What do you see in him, Commissioner? I was a friend of his sweet, dear parents. My respect for them was such that, after they were killed, I decided I'd take an interest in the boy's life. Hard to imagine what the trauma of that night did to him. I sometimes feel that the shallow country club member attitude that he exudes is a bit of a put-on, that a man of depth and seriousness sits below the surface, just waiting to emerge." What's also cool is that they didn't half-ass the time period at all here. It's the 1930s, and this truly is Golden Age, history, wartime period Batman. There are multiple mentions of World War I, the Great Depression, Hitler and the Nazis, as well as a great scene between Batman and a local rabbi in a synagogue. Not to mention, design-wise, everything is adjusted perfectly, not only to again fit the time period, but also stay accurate to the Golden Age and bring it to life in a modern way. Jim Gordon's design is much different than what we've become accustomed to early Batman Jim Gordon looking like. The clothing on everybody is properly old-fashioned, everyone dressing rather uniformly, which only makes Batman stand out even more, as it should. Even the Batmobile was accurate to the Golden Age comics, being literally just a bright red early 1900s model car. We then jump to the mayor of Gotham's house, where he stumbles into his foyer to see two horrendously deformed men standing before his bloody dead butler, slurring their words like cavemen. They grab the mayor by the face before hearing a crash of glass from up above. It's the Batman. The mayor runs while the Batman fights the murderous goons off, trying to distract them and lead them up to the roof. One of the goons follows, swiping at Batman with the knife. He gets a good hit in on the top of his skull, faster than I expected, Batman admits, and while he fights back, the other goon comes from behind and starts causing him double the trouble. They catch him, holding him by the neck, trying to kill him, before Batman grabs the knife off the ground, stabs the goon, strangling him, and breaks free. The other goon has enough and picks him up off the ground before throwing him off the side of the roof. They both jump off the side after him, hoping to finish him off, only to find that he's mysteriously disappeared. Also, can't believe I haven't talked about this yet, Batman's design in this book, the classic Golden Age costume. Not gonna lie, when I found out that this book was coming out, this is the main element that intrigued me. I've always loved the Golden Age Batman look. I think it needs so much more recognition and use in material. Seeing a modern Batman book where he operates in the original costume is what I was most excited for 100%, because it's not like it's impossible to go back and read the original Golden Age comics where he had the suit in the first place, but obviously those earlier publications lacked a certain amount of spectacle and excitement that something like this has. I don't know, I've just always felt like if we're looking at the concept of Batman and how inherently creepy he should be to most ordinary people in universe who have no concept of what a Batman is, the Golden Age suit is just a lot more fitting and makes him look a lot more clinically insane, which helps the whole people being scared of him thing. 100% more creepy than this, in my opinion. Down a nearby alley, a man pulls the wounded Batman inside. Batman thanks him and asks where he is. Robinson Park Synagogue, the man answers, introducing himself as Rabbi Jacob Cohen. "No need to worry, our enemies are one and the same," Batman reassures him. "Good, my people have been victimized enough already. I know too many people back in Germany who were stripped of their wealth, passports, and a sense of safety. Nazis burned every Jewish business and synagogue in sight, and the thousands of them that were marched off to concentration camps. What do you think will happen to them? Batman hesitates. I'm not sure. Could be the worst. I've seen humanity at its worst. Lived through the worst nightmare a child can endure. The unimaginable is definitely possible. I fight now so others don't have to suffer the same thing. I am a believer in your mission. If I can be of service, feel free to call on me again. I'm not much of a fighter, but if your spirit needs help. Batman thanks him and leaves. Bruce takes the costume off at the wheel of the Batmobile, pulling up to a shed behind Wayne Manor. Inside, we see lots of science equipment, vials and bottles and beakers and flasks galore. This Batman, despite a noticeable lack of Alfred, is still very self-sufficient and keeps busy invention-wise. He treats his wounds on his own, with a mirror and a steady hand. Better learn to parry better, Bruce, or you'll end up with broken bones on a regular basis, he tells himself. But I got the knife, that's what counts. He dusts the knife and investigates for prints. Once he has one, he realizes there's one problem. I need help to find a match. He heads to the GCPD precinct, scares the shit out of Gordon, and asks for his help. You help me, I'll help you. Match this, and we'll know who murdered Hodges. Okay, just this once. If I get an ID, how will I contact you? Gordon asks. You won't. I'll call, Batman responds, jumping out the window. At a nearby brothel, one of the customers starts beating one of the women working there. The owner has to step in to fight, stop the guy, and then throws him out. Before one of the owner's men tells him that he has a visitor out back, he steps out into the alley to be met by the Batman. Those screams, Maxie, Batman says. How is she? She'll be fine. What do you want? Maxie replies. These beasts running around Gotham. What do you know? The woman that was being attacked steps outside into the middle of the conversation. There was a client here that works for a man called Johnny the Whip, bragging that his gig was basically zero risk, meaning they have super strong soldiers doing their work for them, getting their hands dirty so they don't have to. And these soldiers, they can't be hurt because they're already dead, brought back to life in a way. That's ridiculous, Batman claims. Just telling you what I heard. Batman calls Jim just like he said he would. The fingerprint, did you get a match? Yeah, Gordon says, but that knife couldn't have been used recently. Prints belong to a Blackgate inmate that was killed in the electric chair 2 months ago. This confirms what the woman at Maxie's brothel had heard. There's an execution tonight, Batman exclaims. When is it? At the top of the hour. Why? Gordon answers. Batman rushes and swings across Gotham to get to Blackgate Penitentiary and prevent the next undead henchman from being created. A man named Myron Dale, who was convicted of killing 4 women, sits restrained in the chair that will kill him. And just as the prison guard is pulling the lever to execute him, the power shuts off. The inmate starts laughing. How about that? I got my stay of execution after all. Ain't that something? Divine intervention. For me, of all people. Quiet, Batman orders, undoing the restraints. You're letting me go? The inmate asks. They're setting you up for something inhuman, Batman warns him. The guards notice Batman and scream. It's a breakout. The bat thing from the news. They beat him, grab him, and throw him in the electric chair just to make an example out of him. A maintenance technician downstairs turns the generator back on, and the warden flips the lever one more time. Tonight, the bat is gonna fry, setting the Batman ablaze in an explosion of electricity and screams. And that's the end of the issue. So I hope you enjoyed this very limited retelling of Golden Age Bat. No, I'm just kidding. This is issue 1 out of 3. So we got a couple more to go. This is not the end, but that is the end of this issue. So if you want me to continue covering this story, you want to see more videos on this when the next issue comes out, make sure to drop a like on this video. Subscribe if you haven't already. Comment your thoughts on this issue. Hit the bell. And yeah, that is it for this video. And until next time, I will see you later. Thanks for watching.